Hello, this is Teo Tamara, and today we're going to be playing Nancy Drew, Message in a Haunted Mansion.
Hi, it's Nancy Drew. Welcome to my latest cyber mystery, Message in a Haunted Mansion. Choose your difficulty level to start off. If you're new to adventure games, you might want to click on the tutorial button to learn how to play the game.
Word of advice, play Junior Detective first for this one. I have my reasons. Just a little background, this is my favorite of the Nancy Drew games. It is the one that introduced me to the series.
In a beautiful Victorian mansion. You'd love the room I'm in.
So I've been looking forward to recording this one.
Old Chinese furnishings and some interesting knickknacks. The owner of the house, Rose Green, is a friend of Hannah and asked me to come out and help her with some renovation work. She and her friend Abby hope to turn the place into a bed and breakfast by next month. But from what I gathered, Rose isn't sure if she can open in time. Ever since they started the renovations, they've had a lot of accidents. Could it be just bad luck, or is there something more sinister at work? I'm sure I'll find out. Love, Nancy.
Alright, so here we are in Nancy's Chinese room. It is 8 a.m. Yeah, you have to press the cancel to get out of that one. I know it's a little weird.
It's stuck.
The bedpost is stuck to the bed. We can look at this cool dragon. Hello, Durg. There's another Durg right here, but this one has this plaque that we can close up on. Investigate further. That is a Chinese character meaning daughter. I will explain how that is relevant later. We can also look at this Durg. Did not know we could look at that Durg. So many Durgs.
It's locked.
This key goes to this trunk, which honestly just has Nancy's little journal. You can use it in this game as a hint system if you need to. We want to look at this tapestry.
Listen, my child, to this story of dreams, and know that the beginning is more difficult than it seems. When the 10 daughters are reunited in order, when the 4-sided box loses its border, when the eye of the phoenix is in your hand, when the bird of fire can see again, when the moon sleeps and the sun plays, the king of the sky will shine his ray, and hidden beneath a river of colors will lie a gate to golden wonders.
So this is your clue, and those highlighted words are your clue that you need to start looking for those Chinese characters around the house that you're going to be seeing as you do different things. There is that tapestry on the wall. Can't really look at that, but there is a reason for it being there. Let's try looking at that Chinese character again.
When the 10 daughters are reunited in order.
I don't know if it gives you that clue on Senior Detective, but it does on Junior Detective. It gives you a clue that is relevant to the tapestry right there. Alright, we are going to exit Nancy's room now, and we're going to go to this door.
Hello, Nancy. I see you've arrived safely from your long journey. But I'm sensing an aura of danger around you. I can tell you're an inquisitive type, a little skeptical, and that you don't believe in ghosts.
This is Abby. She is the business partner and totally platonic gal pal of the owner of the house, Rose, who we will meet in a bit.
How do you know I don't believe in ghosts?
I know many things. I know how to communicate with the spirits, and I know things about people that they don't tell me. Call it intuition or ESP. The spirits in this house are interested in you, especially since you don't believe in them. Watch out. They may give you a rough time just to get your attention.
Does your intuition tell you who could be behind these recent accidents?
I'm not sure, but for some reason the name Valdez has a strong connection with this mansion.
Do you have any more information on Mr. Valdez?
Now, if you will please excuse me, I need to prepare myself for this evening. At that time, more will be revealed.
Alright, so Abby's gonna do a seance this evening. And now we meet Rose.
Hello, Nancy. I'm very glad you could come out here. We can really use your help, seeing how far we are behind schedule. Are you all ready to do some renovation work?
I can't wait. Last night,
She is
you
kind of a
mentioned some
bobblehead.
accidents. What exactly happened?
I don't know where to begin. It started out with some small but irritating things. But then the scaffolding collapsed, and just last week we had a gas leak. I really don't know whether I can stand much more of this. I would love to have a week without any accidents.
I can understand your frustration, Rose. Do you think it's just bad luck?
I'm not one to believe in bad luck, but it's been one thing after another. Maybe Charlie doesn't have the expertise for these renovations, but his rates are so affordable. I sometimes wonder, though, if this old house would be worth more burned to the ground. Enough chit-chat. Hannah tells me you're a real pro with puzzles. Take a look in the corner. Those wood tiles should fit inside the inlay pattern of the floor. Abby and I tried for hours, but it's just too complicated. I'm sorry for not introducing you around, but everyone posts their schedule here in the dining room. It's kind of like Command Central. Let me know how far you get with that puzzle. And thanks again for helping us, Nancy.
Alright, here is the puzzle in question, and to be fair to Rose here, this puzzle is weirdly precise with how you have to do it, like, to a point that a lot of people struggle with this one.
I did it!
How's that inlay puzzle coming along?
I finished it!
Wonderful! But now I've got something else for you. I set up a ladder upstairs so you can chip off the broken tiles on the hallway ceiling. You'll need to look around for a chisel or paint scraper for the job. I'm not sure where Charlie keeps them.
How did you meet Abby?
She was the drama coach back in River Heights, and we worked on a couple of plays together. My bid on this house was too low, so she pitched in her savings to help me get the place. If it weren't for Abby, I couldn't have afforded this place.
What is Abby planning for tonight?
She's putting on some kind of seance tonight to contact these ghosts or whatever she thinks is causing all of these accidents.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
Alright, before we go, there is something I would like to point out. Okay, well, firstly, the schedule. This is a little bit more important. Abby is gone from 3 to 6. Charlie is here from 8 to 5. And Lewis is here from noon to 5. In this drawer, we see
When the bird of fire can see again.
the Chinese character for fire, and also this letter. Dear Miss Green, I have amended your fire insurance policy per your instructions. The property located 4653 California Lane, San Francisco, California, is now insured with a sum of $1 million against fire or earthquake damage. The policy lists you as the sole benefactor. We thank you for your patronage. Please feel free to contact me if you have any further questions. Helen O'Leary, HL/Cow. Definitely one of the stranger signatures I've seen, but yeah. Let's go get that paint scraper. It is in the front room. There it is. Now there's one other person we want to talk to, and that's Charlie. He's down here in the basement.
Hi, you must be Nancy. My name's Charlie.
Nice to meet you. Rose and Abby really have their hands full with this house.
Yeah, most of these Victorian mansions need a lot of work, but I don't mind getting my hands dirty, you know? This place will look great once it's finished.
Do you think you'll be open in time with all of these accidents and delays?
Yeah. Well, now that you're here, sure.
You don't sound convinced.
No, I am. I mean, I know Rose is all concerned, but You gotta expect a few things to get out of control with these big projects. Accidents happen, you know?
Sure, but why so many?
I have no idea. People are blaming me, but it's not my fault. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this work. Listen, Nancy, I really need to get back to work. I'm repairing some floorboards, so be careful walking around. Rose was looking for you earlier. Maybe she has something for you to do. See ya.
Now let's check the time. It's only 10 a.m. Lewis doesn't show up till 12, so we're probably gonna just... That staircase creaks. There's a reason for that. But let's go ahead and just... Go ahead and do that tile thing. And
How are the tiles coming along?
I'm all finished, but you should know what I found.
I'm sure it's very interesting. But unless it's really important, I've got other things to worry about. Let's see. If you're any good at fixing things, there's a dumbwaiter in the hallway that's not working.
How did you find Charlie?
He just showed up one day. It was really odd. I remember Abby and I were in the basement talking about hiring someone to help us. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang and there stood Charlie, looking for work.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
okay, so yeah, that clearly was not going to be enough to pass the time to when I needed it to be. So let's do some other stuff.
I see you.
So someone sees us. Oh wow. You can use it on the bedpost to get a key.
It's stuck.
But it is not the one that we actually need to get into the attic, so we're gonna have to go ahead and skip the time ahead to 12. Those roses look lively. Oh. Oh my. When we look here, we see the name Valdez, a hotelier at 4653 California, this property. We also see that a messenger Adelbert Ken Esquire of 199 Bolander Mill Road in Berkeley ended up bidding for that property. Fee simple estate interests have now been transferred to the charitable trust set up by the property's grantor for the benefit of the Ladies Protection and Relief Society. Faithfully yours, G. Metzger, attorney at law. We open that fire
It's good to know it's here.
We see the fire extinguisher if we open up that cabinet. Y'all really could do to label that a little better, I think. We look in here. You see some letters. You see a couple of letters. Dear Rose, how are you doing? I haven't gotten messages from you in some time. I hope life is treating you well. Last I heard of, you were in the middle of planning some sort of crazy scheme to buy an old Victorian mansion. So whatever became of that? Did you buy it? Now how can you afford to do something like that? Who did you find as a partner to help lead this plan? I hate to admit it, but I haven't been up to a whole lot lately. Life around here has been pretty dull. Nothing too great is happening here, just a bit of the same old, same old. I need to fall into wealth, fame, and fortune, so I'll have more to write about. How's your cat and that friend of yours, Abby? Last time we spoke, she talked a lot about gold and its great spiritual significance. Maybe I'll follow your lead and take on an ambitious project of my own. I could use the money I've been saving to drive out west to visit you. An adventure on the road could just be the key to motivate me. If some of the rumors I've heard of your buying this house are true, I'll definitely have to come and visit. I'll use the excuse of coming to visit to check out your new investment. I'm learning Chinese and I'm also considering taking a trip to Beijing. A friend of mine sent me a poem she wrote in Chinese the other day. Now I want to go there. Well, enough rambling. I've got to go, but I hope to hear from you soon. Yours truly, Hugh Stratonier. Dear Hugh, I'm doing great. How are you? Yes, the rumors are true. I bought myself a Victorian mansion. It's funny you should mention Abby. She's actually the one who decided to go on this venture with me. We're still in the process of restoring the place. It's a lot of fun, but also a lot of hard work. We're beginning to get a little worried that we'll fall behind schedule if we're not careful. There have been several accidents lately that have interfered with our work. On your visit, you can stay in the Chinese room. We've just bought some new furniture for the room. We're just waiting for the wallpaper to dry before we move everything in. With all of the distractions in the schedule, by the time I finish writing this letter, I'm sure we will have completed the renovations altogether. I'll try to get it into the mail before whenever it just cuts off there. Nothing else really to see on this desk, but the phone is here. That will be important for later.
Hello. I was so wrapped up in my book, I didn't hear you come in. My name is Louis Chandler.
I didn't mean to startle you. I'm Nancy Drew. I came out to help Rose and Abby with the renovations.
Yes, well, I'm very glad you're here.
Are you a friend of Rose?
Yes, I'd like to think so, but I'm an antique dealer and a client told me that Rose and Abby had recently acquired the estate. I'm an authority on the Victorian era, so they were only too happy to let me use the library in exchange for my advice on the renovations.
You must know a lot about the house's history.
Actually, I'm a bit in the dark about this particular property. However, as far as Victorian mansions go, I don't see anything remarkable about this one.
Abby thinks the mansion is haunted.
Does she? There have been documented cases of hauntings in older mansions. And I might add, not all of the hauntings were by friendly spirits.
Do you think a ghost is causing these accidents?
Accidents? I know Rose has mentioned some inconveniences like that wall covering and the light supplies, but I would hardly call those accidents. I'm sorry, but I'm quite busy at the moment, and although I'd like to talk, I really don't have the time. Please, excuse me.
Alright, so that's everybody talked to. Those Slavos were looking a hell of a lot more alive when we got here. What happened? They can't have died that quickly. Come on now. Actually, wait, no, I don't even need to go back here, what?
The spirits wish to speak to you, Nancy. Tonight, I will channel their energies to deliver a message. Meet me down in the basement, if you dare.
Here
Please
we
sit
go
down.
with the seance.
We really don't have time for this.
Let us begin. We are gathered here tonight to contact the shades of those who have passed before us. Gaze into the crystal ball. It will answer all of our questions. What's that?
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
We have. Are you the spirit known as Valdez?
I was once called that in the world of the living.
Are you the spirit who has caused these accidents?
I have come back searching for her, my wife. Where can she be?
She's right there, girl. Just
The spirits
go reunite
have
with
spoken.
her. It's that easy.
The seance is over.
We've got a busy day tomorrow, and no more time for these games, Abby. And make sure you blow out the candles on your way up. I don't want to wake up and find the house on fire.
I do love how Nancy can only be seen in shadow. Okay, we're actually gonna go right back down to the basement. If you open this piano bench here,
And hidden beneath a river of colors.
we see the Chinese character for river. We read this newspaper, we find that the Bay Area has experienced an increase in the number of registered bed and breakfasts, according to Betsy Hamilton, director of the B&B Association of San Francisco. More and more travelers who visit our city are seeking a more personal lodging experience. The Bay Area has many alternative accommodations in addition to traditional hotels, but with the increased interest in B&Bs comes increased competition. We've actually seen a decline in business over the last couple of years, says Roderick J.H. Thoresen, owner of Old Time Lodgings in Pacific Heights. Nearly everyone with a Victorian-style home seems to have jumped on the B&B bandwagon. Many B&Bs are marketed toward a specific clientele or offer different amenities to beat the competition. Janie Kristen of Dark Shadows Inn offers her clients a mystery dinner show. It's extremely popular and profitable, and the B&B distinguishes itself from the rest of the pack, she says. Hotels that have some historical importance or even a legend attached to them are definitely the most popular. Freaky. Scandal, horror, outrage, citing the increased popularity of stage reviews and decreased charitable contributions. The Ladies Protection Society has announced a shocking new strategy for raising much-needed funds for the benefit of widows and orphans in our region. No longer will the good ladies of our society hold garden parties, afternoon teas, or cakewalks to solicit contributions. Instead, these proper wives, daughters, and mothers will act on stage like common troubadours in several popular plays in order to raise money for their good works. As decent gentlemen, we should not allow the fair sex to denigrate themselves to this level of vulgarity. Women belong in the home, not upon the stage. Editor. Oh, fuck that, editor. Let those women act their asses off if they want to. Yeesh. That's the main thing we came here for, is that key, which is the one for the attic. We look in here, we can get a screwdriver. And we go to where the seance was, and girl, that was a fake. That's a cassette tape right there. And what's that sound equipment doing under the table if the seance wasn't a fake? Publicity.
It's stuck.
Oh. All right. p.m. game time, and
It's
I'm
locked.
gonna get in the attic. The tile there. This book. We dined with the Maupassant in a strange quarter of Shanghai known as the Enchanted Dragon. Mine Maupassant showed me the lovely thing that she had purchased just earlier that week, and we exchanged pleasantries about our travels in the Orient. As the meal progressed, an elderly man approached me selling a curious puzzle box shaped like a pyramid. There appeared to be no hinges or any semblance of its mechanics from the outside, and yet the solution to open the box was very intricate and involved. The artwork was magnificent, and I became enchanted not only with the contraption, but with the artistic genius of the kindly old man. My mind ran wild with the possibility of creating a hotel where rooms are puzzles full of traps and tricks, just like the pyramid box. In my broken Mandarin, I asked about the old man's employment situation and pressed him to return with me to engineer my next hotel. He became embarrassed, and my dining companions protested my forthcoming attitude. Even in the Far East, where their traditions are so different from ours, a woman is still confined to remain passive and meek regardless of her passion or intellect. Get it, girl. Get a crowbar from that box. So that key we got earlier goes to this desk. In it we find this photo.
There's something hidden here.
Those notes are B, E, G, A, and G.
Is there more to this music than what I'm seeing?
There is, but we'll get to that later. Dear Sir, this letter shall serve as an introduction for my faithful employee Wong Tang, who had been in my service as head chef for over 10 years. It is with much regret that I must discharge him, and were it not for the retirement of my establishment, I would still retain his services. Sincerely, E. Valdez, proprietor of the Golden Gardenia. Charitable performance for the benefit of the Ladies' Protection and Relief Society of the San Francisco favorite The Bandit's Treasure. Tuesday evening, January 27th, and Wednesday matinee, January 28th. Performed at the sumptuous Golden Gardenia Hotel. The Bandit's Treasure, or The Bandit, the Banger, and the Barefooted Beauty. Characters include Derek, played by Pierre Horowitz, and Francesca, played by Lucinda Gieseking. Well, that's basically all we can really see in here. The Mysterious Storybook. She pushed her auburn hair back behind her ear and continued the arduous work. Each pile of dirt seemed heavier than the last, and the damp night air was stifling. Somewhere in the distance, the clock struck midnight. Suddenly, the sound of metal hitting metal resounded from the bottom of the pit. Carolyn dropped to her knees and quickly dug around the dull metallic chest. Soon the lid was uncovered, and she pried its lock open with her crowbar. Her eyes flashed as she saw the chest's contents. 1,000 pieces of gold glinted in the soft moonlight. "Captain Stoibing's treasure," the young heroine cried. "And soon it will be mine," a gruff voice interrupted from above. Before she could react, Carolyn saw the backside of a shovel for a split second, then darkness. When she awoke, she could hear the faint noise of gold pieces hitting one another. She struggled to stand up, but found both her hands and feet tied together. She slowly moved her hand to her back pocket, but found that her penknife was gone. Looking for this? Sir Niles grinned, standing over her with the knife in his hand. "I know how clever you are and took the liberty to remove the contents of your pocket. Please excuse the liberties I have taken." "I'll do no such thing, you villain. That treasure belongs to the Stoibing family, and you know it." That's everything here, but... Oh no, the rope broke. Crowbar time. Oh, shit. Actually, we missed something in there.
And know that the beginning is more difficult than it seems.
This is the Chinese character for beginning. Oh, look at that person going through walls. That is so fetch. House to-do list. Pay bills, transfer money to checking, order paint for shutters. Color? Measure windows for blinds, replace lost tiles on dent fireplace, refinish kitchen cabinets, sand and polish hardwood floors, oil door hinges upstairs, repair hanging gutter in the back. Get an estimate to fix the roof, call a chimney cleaner, repair the dumbwaiter, fix the broken doorbell, add additional phone lights, and order bulbs to the front yard. We are going to end up doing some of these things today. Dear Rose, what a pleasure it was to meet you and Abby. As we have discussed, I am extremely interested in examining the collection of old books that came with the house. They will help me considerably with my research of Victorian antiques. In exchange, I will be more than happy to consult you on renovations. Victorian homes pose so many difficulties, especially both structurally and aesthetically, especially for an amateur renovator like yourself. My expertise in this field can save you both time and money. I will come over tomorrow at noon to show you the roof tiles I found for you. I also found a good deal on scaffolding equipment. Lewis Chandler. Dear Miss Green, we have received the accident reports you have submitted and have summarized them below. We are very concerned about the high number of incidents that you have experienced, and although we would not like to raise your policy premiums, we must examine these options if these accidents continue. We're also delaying any payments so we can send our building inspector to examine your property to determine if there are any safety concerns with your renovation methods. Please call us to make an appointment. Damage report. The following is a list of damages reported to the property located at 4653 California Lane, San Francisco, California 94104. These incidents will be considered when assessing future biannual premiums due this account. Broken kitchen gas line, no structural damage. Burst water main in upstairs bedroom, minimal structural damage. Scaffolding collapse, no injuries. Vandalism, damage to outside shrubbery, and stolen roofing materials. Anything we can look at over here? Not really, no. There is a thing that I skipped. Freaky. There is a thing that I may have slightly skipped over, and it is how to create a beautiful 4-poster bed in 10 easy steps. You'll love the drama this 4-poster bed brings to your bedroom. It's simple to make and gives the bedroom a truly continental look. Materials for a twin-size bed: 56 6-inch pieces of wooden doweling, 5 46-inch pieces of wooden doweling, 2 PVC elbows to fit the doweling, 66 square inches of fabric, screws 4 7/8 inches by 37-inch eye hooks, and 3 6/7 by 5 3/9 inches fish hooks. Step 1. Pre-cut all the pieces. Insert a PVC elbow lengthwise into the doweling. In Step 2. Add the short pieces of doweling, placing into the ends of the elbows of the lengthwise pieces. Also, you might notice that this vaguely resembles Nancy's bed. It's kind of supposed to function as a clue that you can use the paint scraper on the bedpost, but I don't really know how well it does that. Now, there's another thing we can do. Rose actually kind of asked us to do it earlier. And it's to use that iron on that rope to fix the dumbwaiter in the hall. So we are going to go ahead and do that now.
When the eye of the phoenix is in your hand...
Here we have the Chinese character for eye and a tile. And now I'm gonna go ahead and get some sleep.
Morning, Nancy.
Alright, now that we're here... Oh, there's that person again.
Hello.
Where did Abby find those papers that are in the parlor?
She told me they were in her room, which surprised me since it was completely empty when we moved in. Now, the room you're staying in was crammed with furniture. I think most of it was original with the house.
How do you know Louis?
He stopped by one day to introduce himself. He seemed awfully curious about our property, but he's an antique dealer specializing in the Victorian period. He's been extremely helpful advising us on authentic decor.
Why are there dead roses in the parlor?
Are they dead again? For some reason, they seem to die right after I buy them. It's strange. I've never seen that happen before. It must be the weather or something.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
So long.
Alright, that was a little combo with Rose we get to have. And now let's, go and do the thing with the phone, friends.
Drew residence, Hannah Groon speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Nancy, how are you? And how's Rose?
Great. I'm really glad you had Rose invite me out here. Her house is so beautiful.
I'm so happy you're out there. But I'm worried about all the accidents she's having. There's just been so many.
What has Rose said about them?
She doesn't say much, but I know they've become worse and worse. That's one of the reasons why I asked you to visit her, to see if everything is all right.
Do you suspect there's something more to these accidents?
I don't know. Rose is under a lot of pressure to open that bed and breakfast on time, and I'm worried that it may be too much for her.
When is she planning to open it?
In a month or two. Rose spent her entire life savings on the house. If this doesn't work out, she won't have 30 more years to earn the money back. Well, I should let you get back to your renovation work. Thank you for calling. There's probably no reason for concern. But be on the lookout for anything unusual. Goodbye, dear.
Hello?
Hi, Bess. It's Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. George is here. Let me put her on the speakerphone.
Nancy?
Hi, George.
Hey, what's up?
I'm in San Francisco, helping a friend of Hannah's renovate an old Victorian mansion. She wants to open up a bed and breakfast. Unfortunately, some strange accidents have delayed the project.
Uh-oh.
Well, get this. One of the owners, Abby, thinks the place is haunted by a ghost named Valdez.
A ghost? Well, I'm glad I'm not out there.
Sounds like another case is in the works.
So tell us more about what's been going on.
Do you know anything about the house's history?
I met the resident handyman, Charlie. He's pretty young, and I don't think he has much experience.
Maybe he doesn't charge very much, so he's probably a good bargain for Rose.
Or maybe he's just cute.
Bess, is that all you can think about?
No.
Rose is really lucky. This antique dealer, Louis Chandler, is helping her out, although he doesn't know very much about the house's history.
That makes sense. If the house was built before 1906, most of its records were probably destroyed in the earthquake.
But wouldn't he know at least something about it if he's some kind of expert on old things?
I'm sure he knows a lot about old stuff, just not architecture or houses.
Listen to this. I found a secret attic and an old desk. It looks like no one's been in there for years.
There's probably a lot of clues about the house in there.
Oh, what was in the desk?
An old playbill for a musical called The Bandit's Treasure.
The Bandit's Treasure? Maybe there is treasure in the house.
I found some letters written by E. Valdez. I guess he was the owner of a hotel named the Golden Gardenia.
Valdez.
Golden gardenias? I thought they were all white.
That's it. Don't you see? The hotel has gold hidden in it, and Valdez is watching over it.
I don't think so, Bess.
Abby hosted a seance and contacted the spirit who's haunting the house.
Did you actually see the ghost?
Yeah, right. I'm sure it was some kind of trick.
Abby sounds suspicious.
Yeah, maybe she's hiding something. She probably knows more about the house than she's admitting.
Can you guys give me a clue? I'm not sure what to do next.
We'll be more than happy to help.
But it might be more fun to figure it out on your own.
Check out the music in the attic desk. I bet the different notes are a combination for the piano puzzle.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Call us!
So Bess and George can also function as a hint system in this game. They actually serve this function in most of the games that they're a phone friend in.
This is Emily.
Hi, Emily. It's Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew? I haven't heard from you in ages. How's Hannah in River Heights? You're not in San Francisco, are you, my dear?
Actually, I am. I'm helping one of Hannah's friends, Rose Green, renovate this wonderful old Victorian mansion. She wants to open up a bed and breakfast.
Seems to be the trend these days. I'll bet you're staying in the Haight-Ashbury district.
I'm not sure. The place is located on California Lane. 4653, I think, is the number.
You know, you're lucky you caught me at home. I've been traveling most of these days, but after that crazy tour of Egypt. By the way, riding a camel is not as easy as it looks. My editor gave me an assignment right here in town. It'll be on the Dragons of San Francisco.
I hope you won't be riding them. What were you doing in Egypt?
Oh, you know, the usual. Pyramids, bazaars, the Sphinx. But what are you up to, Nancy? Why'd you call? Is there anything I can help you out with?
Can you tell me about the Chinese writing system? I seem to come across a lot of Chinese symbols.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. The Chinese have been an important part of San Francisco history for over 100 years. The symbols are called Hanzi, and each one represents a particular thing, or an idea, or an action. You find them all over on business cards, takeout cartons, artwork.
I found some old papers in the house, plus a page from a phone directory dated 1894.
Oh, that sounds valuable. It's hard to find old documents like that before 1906.
What do you know about the Bandit's Treasure?
Bandit's Treasure? Oh, you mean the play? The Rep did a season where they performed old local plays, including the Bandit's Treasure. I've never seen it, but I hear the music is fantastic.
This is making me want to see the Bandit's Treasure.
Have you heard of an antique dealer named Louis Chandler?
Nope, never heard of him.
Have you ever come across hidden rooms in Victorian mansions?
No, but I've read that many houses were only partially rebuilt after the Great Earthquake, closing off damaged rooms from the rest of the house.
Do you know where Yerba Buena town is?
That's what San Francisco was called back during the Spanish colonial period, but no one calls it that anymore.
Tell me about the Spanish and San Francisco.
Oh, you could write a book on that. The Spanish were the first Europeans to settle this area during the 1700s, and it stayed that way until after the Mexican-American War when it was handed over to the United States. It couldn't have happened at a better time because gold was discovered outside the city not more than 2 years later.
With all of that gold around, I'd imagine there's a lot of buried treasure in this town.
Yeah, you'd think that, but I've never heard of any in San Francisco, except for Treasure Island out in the bay. But that's named after the book, not some legend.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
I hope we'll talk soon.
Alright, it is 8:45 in game. I'm going to go ahead and actually skip the time a little bit forward. There's a couple things we can do here. We can look at this book. Also known as the Firebird, this mythical giant bird occurs in the legends of many cultures, including Chinese, Arabic, and American indigenous. Every 500 years, the bird builds a great nest and sets it on fire to rise forth from its ashes. And I would imagine Nancy Drew already knows what a phoenix is, but I guess she has to not know because, you know, this game's target audience. Lessons in chess, the knight. The knight, unlike any other piece, has the ability to move on an unfixed path. It leaves one square and arrives at another without going anywhere in between. In effect, he can leap over other pieces to land at its destination. In the example below, the knight is able to travel to any of the squares marked with an X. Those are all those. This is like one of the few things you can look at that actually ends up being like completely irrelevant.
When the four-sided box loses its border...
If we head over to the Mahjong table, we see the character for 4. We can also look... There is a book we can look at here. The History of the Piano. This mostly functions as a hint system for the people that can't read music. By the 14th century, keyboards contained all the naturals of the white note keys. As early as 1361, examples with the familiar key composition found in modern pianos were depicted in the visual arts. But we have a much more significant reason that we came here. And that is this thing.
It won't fit.
Putting the tiles on the wall. When we pull this lever, it opens up a hidden room. So let's grab this lantern, take a look at this picture.
Listen, my child, to this story of dreams.
And the Chinese character for child.
Louis is up to something.
Aha! That's it!
Louis, are you in there?
I'll be right there.
He's hiding something in his briefcase.
There's a couple people we want to talk to now. First is Charlie.
Hey Nancy, I see you survived Abby's seance. Man, that Valdez guy sure sounded creepy.
I guess. Were you down here then? I don't remember seeing you.
Rose told me all about it. So how are things coming along? Anything I can help you out with?
Have you met Louis Chandler? What do you know about him?
He's an antique dealer, I think. I guess he does consulting work for Rose, like on Victorian furnishings and stuff.
Can you tell me more about the accidents?
I'd really rather not talk about that right now.
Have you ever heard of someone named Valdez?
I've heard of a Diego Valdez. He was a wealthy rancher who lived in the 1800s. Yeah, I just read a book on him for my history class.
Was he from San Francisco?
No, he was sort of a hermit and never married. But he was extremely generous. He gave away thousands of dollars.
How do you like working for Abby?
She's not bad. She can be a little weird. I think she gets on Rose's nerves sometimes.
What do you mean?
She always does a disappearing act whenever Rose needs her to do some work. And I think Rose has sort of had it, you know?
Abby thinks the house is haunted. Do you?
I'm not sure. Let's just say I wouldn't rule it out. But that's Abby's department, not mine.
I mean, sometimes totally platonic gal pals are just a little... Sometimes they just don't want to work, and that's okay. They can be lazy queens.
Have you come across any hidden passageways down here?
You mean like a trapdoor leading to a room with skeletons or something? No, I haven't.
Have you seen the poem in the Chinese room?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. It almost sounds like there's a hidden message in there, you know?
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Hasta la pasta.
Hasta la pasta indeed, Charlie. Now we're gonna go talk to Abby.
I hope you're convinced now that the spirits are with us. These ghosts are here to stay.
I'm convinced that this house is haunted. I'm just not sure who is responsible.
Isn't it obvious? Senor Valdez and his wife, long-lost soulmates wandering aimlessly in the netherworld, returning to this house to search for each other. I only hope that one day I will be able to reunite them so that they may find peace.
I found out how you rigged the seance table with a projector. That was a pretty good show you gave.
Okay, so I staged part of the seance. But that still doesn't mean this place isn't haunted. Seances were very popular during the Victorian era, and I plan to entertain our guests with them. It'll be a great way to promote the place.
Have you been creating these accidents to help your promotion?
Of course not. I've had nothing to do with these accidents. They cost us both time and money. If you want to find out who's behind the accidents, ask our resident handyman.
Do you mean Charlie?
Ugh, it's clear to me that Charlie's totally responsible for the accidents. Who else could it have been? He's a really nice kid, but he has no idea what he's doing. Unfortunately, Rose doesn't want to fire him. And there's something suspicious about him.
What do you mean?
The other day, I was down in the basement working for over an hour, and suddenly he sneaks up on me. I bet he was down there the whole time, watching me.
I'm pretty sure the what do you mean is exactly the same voice line from that conversation with Charlie. Like, I just noticed that, like, right now.
Have you seen the poem in my room?
Oh, I love that poem. Listen, my child, to this story of dreams. How does the rest go? It was there when we bought the place.
Do you know much about Louis? It must be great having your own expert on Victorians.
He owns Chandler Interiors, a very reputable antique store. I'm sure his clients will be quite interested in our bed and breakfast once they hear about our resident ghost.
How long have you known Rose?
A couple of years. She has good business sense, but I think she needs to think more about advertising. Otherwise, we're just like all the other B&Bs in this town, and believe me, there's plenty of them.
I saw those papers in the parlor. Where did you find them?
Right in my room. They're so vintage. I'm going to ask Louis if he can get me some antique frames for them. Rose and I can use the letters in our historical display.
Was there anything about the house in them?
I don't think so. I really didn't go through them that much. I did find this old picture of a woman dressed in men's clothing. I think it was taken in the entryway by the staircase. I sent it to a photographer to have it restored.
Do you have any idea who this woman might be?
No, I don't. Sorry.
I heard someone crying in the hallway. Was that you?
I told you the spirits were interested in you. Was it a woman crying?
Yes, it was. How did you know?
It must be one of our phantom residents.
Do you know who this phantom could be?
Well, it wasn't me crying out there.
Did the house come with a lot of furniture?
There were a lot of pieces and knickknacks left behind, like the books in the study, your bed. I think it was too large to take out of the room.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Pax vobiscum.
We love Latin. Well, we are about to find out about the crying in the hallway. There's a speaker in the vent. $12.45 in game.
Hi, Nancy.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Bright blessings.
Okay, so there was like literally nothing else to talk to her about, so we're gonna skip to when she's not gonna be in there. We are in Abby's room.
Something's missing here.
We can read about Old West romances such as Lizzie Applegate and the Bandit. According to legend, the infamous masked bandit El Diablo fell madly in love with Lizzie Applegate during her years as an entertainer at gold mining camps. At the end of Lizzie's performances, El Diablo would ride his jet black steed up to the stage and leave her a bouquet of gardenias. It was rumored that Lizzie joined El Diablo's band of thieves and was present at the Christmas gold robbery of 1878. Loving the random pilot picture in there to completely break the aesthetic. Surprised we can't look at much on this desk. It's a really nice desk. Fortune telling for business popularity, and we can't even read it. Shame.
When the moon sleeps and the sun plays.
That is the Chinese character for moon. The zodiac and you. The Chinese horoscope is organized on a 12-year cycle, with each year assigned to a certain animal. While the origin of these animal signs is unclear, many believe that they were named by Buddha. Before he departed from Earth, he summoned all the animals, but only 12 came to bid him farewell. As a reward, he named the year after each one in the order that they arrived. First came the rat, then the ox, then the tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and boar. Thus, we have 12 signs today. That is a clue for a puzzle later. Ooh, wow, okay, that actually looks a little bit better than it did in the other one. Open that picture frame. That is a mirror going into the hallway. Creepy. Of all the spiritualists in the turn of the century, none was as famous as Madame Araignée, noted for her spider sapphire bracelets and heavy Russian accent. In her memoirs, "I am the Spider Lady," Madame Araignée revealed her secrets. For her, creating an atmosphere of illusion was just as important as the illusion itself. The best illusions were those that were created over a period of time or anticipated by the audience. As an illusionist, you must be aware of the influence that you have on the audience's perception of the events you create. Always establish an aura of intrigue and mystery about yourself. As you talk with your audience, try to plant the seeds of illusion into the perceiver's mind. Remember, illusions are about control. You must always strive to maintain this control. CDs, nice speaker system. More importantly, though, cameras showing us the hallway. That's that one time in Nancy's room. I think it's specifically the second time you go in there. The woman crying. That one from the parlor. A baby. I don't think we ever hear that one anywhere in the game. Oh yeah, we heard that one earlier. We might have heard that one in the dining room, I'm not sure though.
I see you.
Oh, we did hear that one. And there's a whole thing with that one. Well, if we play this, we hear...
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
Aw, damn, we can't even really mess with anything else. Alright, we are basically done there. And we're gonna have to skip the time again. Remember this great? We're gonna actually go down there now. With the lantern, obviously. Because if you don't go down there with the lantern, you will die. Ooh, shit, we got a two-way mirror. Sick.
The king of the sky will shine his ray.
That's the Chinese character for king. El Diablo. Not much is known about this masked bandit who played the Domingo Vaca Trail between 1875 and 1880, except for his trademark black outfit and mask. Many legends associate him with the Great Christmas Robbery, but the contemporary historians now believe that the robbery was fabricated by the Stagecoach Company since the treasure was never found. And also, we do actually need that diskette for something. Oh no, we're actually gonna go to the parlor first. Oh, what's all that? Girl, Abby's not even there. Who was playing that? Now it is 5:15 p.m. in game. I love how we have a maze game that can just bypass someone's computer security. Also, just press the M button and it lets you have a map, which is cool. And we're in. Fact from fiction, The Great Christmas Gold Robbery. Charlie Murphy, Final Term Paper, Profiles of Californian History, History 183. We have an outline, introduction, date, term paper, objective, valuation of stolen gold, the best sources, robbery value ranges, which could be anywhere from 15k to 250k in gold coins. Jeez, that's a lot of money. Formulas for computing value. We have participants: El Diablo, Purple Pete, Wild Obadiah, Crazy Jane, Diego Valdez, question mark, eyewitness profiles, and a location of the stolen gold. We have the Western Mutual United Bank fraud, the Valdez family ranch, the Applegate connection, the Bandit's treasure promotion, and oral histories. When we look at the files, we see the San Francisco City Guide from 1888, which lists the Cyan Palace at Port and Fort, the Pomodoro at 1108 Crisal Way, the Golden Gardenia Hotel, i.e. this place, and Il Palazzo at 1118 Houghton. Or Houghton, I don't know how y'all pronounce that. This one's the important one because it gives us the code to his briefcase. I don't know why the heck he would store that in there, but yeah, I guess we know the code to his briefcase now. That's a thing. Anyways. When we go in this briefcase, we see, through our own voices, an oral history of Chinese immigrants in California.
Gumbo Fu? What's that?
My name is Wing Tang. When I was just 19, I worked as a grader on the Transcontinental Railroad and saw the two great railroads meet at the Golden Spike. I came back to San Francisco in 1871 and worked as a chef for Miss Applegate for many years at the Hotel Chinois and then at the Golden Gardenia, which we called Gumbo Fu. I remember the Great Earthquake, and I'll check the tall buildings like stalks of rice. The Great Fire destroyed so many buildings and people. Sheesh, the rice comparison. Talk about on the nose. Dear sir, I represent a client who would like to sell the collection of post-Civil War gold bullion. My client wishes to remain anonymous during all business transactions, and I'm having difficulty determining the nature of their collection. From what I can gather, my client possesses approximately $50,000 in uncirculated bank standard gold coins dated between 1870 and 1880. These would have been issued by one of the 5 major banks that were located in California at the time. Please contact me at your convenience. I'm available during the mornings and evenings. Respectfully yours, Louis Chandler. Victorian Antiques. Hidden Treasure in Our Homes by John Orman. Mr. Orman is an expert in the colonial history of California. He will give a seminar on treasure hunting techniques at the upcoming Fortune Hunter Expo in San Jose later this year. I have consulted and worked on the restoration of hundreds of California homesteads, ranches, haciendas, and mansions, dating as far back as the 18th century, and have always found some sort of hidden treasure. Some are quite ordinary, accessible tiles, a secret compartment filled with keepsakes, but others have proved to be quite extraordinary. My recent work at Los Arboles Ranch in Santa Frieda uncovered $20,000 in gold bullion that had been hidden away during the Spanish-American War. Over the many years of research and findings, I've developed a systematic approach to determine which habitations are prime candidates for hiding a secret treasure. There's also this. Rick Arlen, you might remember him from Stay Tuned for Danger, back with a vengeance. Soap star heartthrob Rick Arlen has renewed his contract with Worldwide Broadcasting, but admits he had misgivings about another season with Light of Our Love. It was a very difficult time of my life, the actor admits. There are a lot of things going down, and I didn't know if it was time to move on. Rumors have persisted that Arlen had been a victim of a stalker and that a teen detective named Nancy Drew was on the case. However, neither Rick nor the show's producer William Pappas had any comment. Miss Drew had recently been something. Well, we know the story with that one. So now we gotta do the gumbo foo thing, which is basically to talk to everybody and ask them what gumbo foo is. Now, technically, you only have to talk to, I think, Emily on the phone and then Lewis and Charlie about what gumbo foo is. But for story's sake, I'm gonna talk to everybody.
Drew residence, Hannah Groon speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Nancy.
I met Rose's handyman, Charlie. He seems nice.
Rose told me he's a fine young fellow, but a little rough around the edges. I believe she said he's studying history at a community college.
Has Rose said anything about him and the accidents?
Nothing particular. I know she's concerned that Charlie may have inadvertently caused some of them, but she doesn't think it was intentional.
Did you know Rose has a resident expert on Victorians?
Oh, yes. Rose has mentioned Lewis several times. She's really fond of him and is very grateful for his help.
Oh? Is there more between them than what I'm seeing?
Oh, no, they're not dating or anything, but I can tell Rose likes him very much.
Have you heard about the seance Abby hosted for Rose and me?
Seance? Good heavens.
Has Rose ever mentioned someone by the name of Valdez?
No. She never mentioned the name.
Abby faked the seance. She rigged a table with a projector.
Well, you didn't think it was for real, did you? Don't worry, Rose, about this. She has enough on her mind already. I just can't imagine why Abby would go to all that trouble.
I just found a hidden attic. I wonder if it has anything to do with all these accidents.
Perhaps it does. Nancy, keep this a secret until you get to the bottom of these strange events. Don't even tell Rose. The less everyone knows, the more you can investigate without creating suspicion.
Lewis is up to something. I saw him take a book from the library.
That doesn't sound very suspicious. What was the book about?
Lewis's book mentioned that this house was once called Gumbo Foo in the 1800s.
That's nice, dear. I have no idea what that means. But give Emily a call. She knows all about San Francisco legends.
I should get back to work. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear.
This is Bess.
And George.
Hello, you two.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Do either of you know what gumbo foo means?
It sounds Chinese.
Call Emily. She'll know.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Bye, Nancy.
Not it sounds Chinese.
Emily Foxworth speaking.
Hello, it's Nancy Drew.
Hi, Nancy. How's your case coming along?
Do you know what the words gumbo foo mean?
Sounds Chinese to me. Why don't you ask everyone what they think it means? It may have something to do with the house. In the meantime, I'll ask my friends about it. Gumbo foo.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Keep me posted, okay?
Alright, so that's the phone people. Now you basically have to talk to, like, everybody about this. What is it, 7:15 p.m. in the game now? So now is probably not a good time to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and skip time ahead to when literally everyone will actually be in the house.
Hi, Nancy.
Do you know what gumbo foo means?
Gumbo foo? I love gumbo. What kind of gumbo is gumbo foo?
So I'm gonna take that as a no.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
See you later.
Hello.
Do you think Charlie is responsible for these accidents?
Abby thinks he is, but I'm not sure. I really trust in him, and I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Does Charlie live around here?
He told me he just moved here from Iowa, but doesn't have a place of his own yet. He said he's staying with friends.
Do you know why there's a speaker in the air vent?
Oh, Abby told me she's rigging up some kind of PA system in here. To tell you the truth, I really can't stand elevator music.
Do you know what gumbo foo means?
No, not that I can remember.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
So that's Abby and Rose. Let's do Charlie next.
Hi, Nancy. What's up?
Charlie, I found this diskette. I think it's yours.
I was wondering where it was. Thanks a lot, Nancy. Luckily, I had a backup at the school.
That must be an interesting paper you're writing.
I just started to write it, so I don't know very much about the robbery. It's hard to separate fact from fiction, especially when most of the information is based on rumors.
Whatever happened to the gold?
Nobody knows. Some historians say that the bank faked the robbery to collect the insurance money.
Was it El Diablo who stole the gold? Or someone else?
It was definitely El Diablo, but no one knows who he was. In my opinion, El Diablo never existed. He was a composite of different outlaws from that era.
Do you know what the words gumbo foo mean?
I'm not sure. I've never heard that before.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Later.
Okay, so I apparently can do the piano puzzle with him here. Yeah, no, that's I did not know you could do that puzzle with him here. I thought he had to be gone for that, but thanks for entertaining that melody, Charlie. If only briefly. Just pretend you didn't see anything, okay? Now, Lewis.
Hello, Nancy.
I was wondering whether you knew anything about someone named E. Valdez.
E. Valdez. No, I've never heard of that name. But I'll jot it down and let you know if I come across it anywhere.
Have you ever heard of the Great Christmas Gold Robbery?
Of course, although it never actually occurred. Fictional history, a folk legend, a complete myth. But nonetheless, it's still a fascinating story, even though it isn't true.
What kind of antique store do you own?
It's a gallery, not a store. And it's called Chandler Interiors, specializing in the Victorian period. I have clients from all over the world, and if I don't have what they're looking for, I find it.
Was this house once a hotel?
That's hard to say. The house has been renovated many times, but several of its original features, such as the saloon and staircase, seem to indicate that it may have been a hotel. Unfortunately, there are no records on this house before 1906.
Do you know what gumbo foo means?
Where did you hear that?
You have to say you read it in a magazine, otherwise it's a game over.
I read about it in a magazine.
I see. As I recall, it means House of Great Books. After the Great Earthquake, many books and documents were stored in private homes to save them from the fires. The Chinese called those houses gumbo fu.
What was the Ladies' Protection Society?
A popular charity in the early 1900s. They helped widows and orphans.
Have you seen the poem in my room?
Oh, that one. Yes, it's just some cheap Chinatown souvenir.
Are you sure about that?
Do you know what a phoenix is?
Yes, it's a mythical bird-like
The fact that we're
creature
even
that
having
builds a
to
nest
ask
every
this.
500
Like,
years
Nancy,
and then sets
surely
itself
you've
on
heard of a
fire
phoenix
to
by
rise
now.
forth, reborn from its ashes. It's a very popular symbol in the Bay Area. In fact, there's one on the main staircase.
Do you think Charlie is doing a good job?
Certainly. He's rough around the edges, but he's reliable and learns very quickly. He's just what Rose and I need.
I won't keep you any longer.
Nice to see you again.
So we've now talked to everybody about gumbo foo. And now, our next stop, if I can actually click in the right places, our next stop is to go to the attic. Because there is indeed more to that music in the desk than what we saw. Find Diego on stairs is the message you get from that. So we're gonna go find Diego on the stairs. Diego coins, false floor. Get that? Chinese character gem. Diego, I've waited so long for your return, but have kept our treasure true. Here is the tool you need to find it. May your rainbows never run out of luck, E. The stars and moon will shine on you as you begin your quest. Travel to the corners first. Visit all from east to west. Then journey back into the center where you will surely see the sun shone all over the land in perfect harmony. You're gonna go ahead and go back to my room, and that tapestry that was there at the start of the game is noticeably gone now. Ooh, what's this? A note. Leave the mansion now! Jeez, they know how to make a note scream. Creaky staircase. Oh, there's smoke. Oh my god, no. Not where I wanted to go. I love how they just leave the screen like that with the fire department sirens.
I talked to everybody in the house, and none of them can figure out what caused the fire. Maybe I should take Lewis's advice and cut my losses before it's too late.
What advice?
He has a client who might want to buy the place. Someone with more experience and money to finish all of the renovations.
What did the fire department say?
They think the fire was caused by sparks from the fireplace, since it doesn't have a screen. And I specifically told Charlie to buy one. How could he have forgotten? No, I am bound and determined to stick with this house no matter what. Nothing can drive me away. I don't care if it's fires, earthquakes, or Mr. Valdez with his gang of ghosts.
Excuse me for prying, but why did you spend so much money to insure the house against fire?
For protection. I've put my entire life savings into this house, and if it goes up in smoke, I'll lose everything.
Have you found any rainbow designs in the house?
Rainbows? No. Not that I can remember.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye.
Alright, so... yeah, we have a bit to do here. Let's, find out what the actual damage is. That looks oddly like the letters in the desk. Let's go check if they're there. Oh, yeah, no, girl, they're gone.
Ah, Nancy, what a shame to have lost those papers. And to think that we almost lost the house. Rose is very fortunate to have you here.
Did you hear anything in the parlor before the fire started?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm somewhat isolated here. With these thick walls, I barely hear anything.
Were the papers very valuable?
Not for my purposes, no. But they must have had some sentimental value.
Do you think Rose should sell the house?
I leave that decision up to her. She's put an extraordinary amount of time and money into it, and I'm not sure if she can afford what it'll take to complete the renovations. But whatever her decision, I will assist her however I can.
I won't keep you any longer.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Alright, so we talked to Lewis about it. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Charlie too.
Hey, Nancy. Hey, there's been another accident. You've got to believe me, I didn't have anything to do with it. I just hope Rose doesn't blame me for this one.
Rose mentioned the fire screen you were supposed to get.
But I did buy it. Lewis told me that it was the wrong type and said he'd get another one, so I returned it.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
And that's all there is to it?
Everyone thinks I'm causing these accidents because I was always the last one there, but I had nothing to do with them. I can tell you this. There's something unusual going on in this house.
So, do you have any proof?
I'd better not say any more. Sorry.
Who was the last person you saw in the parlor before the fire?
I've been working mostly in the basement, but I think I saw Abby go through those papers right before the fire.
Oh, did she?
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Thanks.
Alright. Then there's something we need to go over here upstairs.
You have become completely distracted by all of the spiritualism stuff. I think you were in the parlor, either burning candles or using that flash paper.
Well, excuse me for trying to find some ways to promote this place. It's good business sense.
Well, I guess we won't have to worry about advertising if the mansion burns down.
You've given up. You want the mansion to burn to the ground. That way you won't have to worry about losing your investment. You'll just collect the insurance.
How dare you? Are you accusing me of fraud?
I'm sorry, Rose. I don't know. It's just all these accidents and now this. I know you're dedicated to this house. I'm sorry for doubting you.
Let's just finish up these curtains. I think the stress of the last few weeks has finally gotten the better of us.
That it clearly has. I'm gonna... set the alarm, just sleep for the rest of the day. There is nothing to really do.
Morning, Nancy.
Morning, Nancy. You basically slept for... how long was it? 17 hours? 18 hours? Yeah, I know that's crazy, right?
I'm glad you dropped by. You know, I wanted to tell you that you'll be alone in the house for a while. Everyone is going to the Winter Festival, and Charlie's studying for finals. I also took down one of the tapestries in your room for dry cleaning, and what was the other thing? Oh, a messenger dropped off a letter for you. I put it in your room.
Are you missing any papers?
Funny you should ask. Yes, I did misplace some old letters, but I'm sure they'll show up soon.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Take care.
Here's the part where we kind of start the end game puzzles. Alright, let's go ahead and do this puzzle. First is the rat, then the ox, then the tiger, then the rabbit, the dragon, the snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and boar. And that unlocks the Chinese character puzzle. That puzzle, for context to that, the order
missing here.
The order was child, beginning, daughters, 4, fire, moon, king, river, and gold. You can, at least in junior detective mode, you can also find that highlighted on the tapestry. We get this puzzle. The solution to this one's easy. It's just the middle and then the corners. And this is the slider puzzle. with that, we get the Phoenix's Eye. My dearest Elizabeth, I can never sully that sweet name by calling you Lizzie. You shall evermore be Elizabeth, my Elizabeth, the sweet dear woman who has honored me with her enchanting presence and grace. Tonight I ride on yet another perilous list. I have no idea what that word is supposed to mean, but always to return to your beloved smile. Until then, please accept this bouquet of gardenias, your favorite, El Diablo. My dearest Elizabeth, only one soul on this great earth knows the two secrets that circle my heart, my love for you and my secret identity. Know that my intentions are the purest in all respects. I am a modest man, and all of the wealth that I have acquired by devious means are put to the best uses, all given to the poor, the misfortunate, and the defenseless. And so I am, a poor, misfortunate, and defenseless man in the presence of your beauty. You've stolen my heart, dear Elizabeth, and all I ask is your hand in marriage to be mine forever, Diego. I, Elizabeth Valdez, do hereby make this my last will and testament to my dear friend Nellie Beecham, my black onyx necklace and earnings in the sum of $5,000, to my employee Wing Tang the sum of $15,000, to my cherished secretary Mabel Craddy the sum of $10,000, and to my beloved husband Diego Valdez the entirety of my estate, my house and its contents with the exception of the bequests above. In the event that my husband Diego Valdez is not located after a period of 1 year after my death or is found to be deceased, the entirety of my estate, with the exception of the bequests above, are to be liquidated, and all proceeds of said transaction are to be provided to the Ladies' Protection and Relief Society. Witnessed this 8th day of April, 1902. G. Metzger, Attorney at Law. Our wedding day. As thy days show, shall thy strength be. True love and pure shall be with you. This certifies that Elizabeth Applegate of Gold Pine Valley Company and Diego Valdez of Gold Pine Valley Company were united in marriage according to the ordinance and laws of the state of California at Gold Pine Valley on the 18th day of June in the year of our state, 1876. Samuel K. Moister, pastor. Witnesses Marina D'Angelo and Lobbins? I can barely read that name. 'Tis he who clasps the marriage hand and fills the spousal ring, that leaves you binding hand in hand of his stones to bring the choicest kiss before you spread of an all-bestowing king. Okay, so that's everything to look at in here. Now, you might notice this bird.
It's missing an eye.
This gem is the eye. Ooh, cool lights. And there's those rainbows in question. And if we open that bird, we get...
And to think I was standing on it all along.
Too bad no one will ever find out about it.
Louis?
I knew it! There must be over $1 million in here.
I've got to stop him before he gets away.
So you got this, Nancy. Don't go up the one to your left, it creaks, and drop that chandelier on his ass.
Hey! Get me out of here!
I love how he's still alive after
Dear
that.
Bess, I'm just about finished with my renovation work and counting out all of those gold coins. Louis was behind all of the accidents, hoping to pressure Rose into selling the house so he could find the treasure himself. Although Rose and Abby may not have a legal right to the gold, the bank the coins were stolen from will still give them a reward for finding it. The house also has gotten a lot of publicity with all of the news stories, and the place is booked solid for the first month of its opening. I guess a haunted bed and breakfast with hidden treasures is all the rage these days, even if there are no such things as ghosts. I think. See you soon, Nancy.
The I think at the end. Alright, this has been quite the experience playing through again, even if my voice doesn't really make it seem like it. Thank y'all. This has been Teo Tamara, and signing off until next time. Goodbye.